Hey everyone, my name is Nolan and welcome back to another Pixel Gun 3D Top 20 video. Today we're counting down the top 20 special weapons for Pixel Gun 3D. And I'm just going to say I want to try and keep this video nice and short. So all I'm going to say is if you guys want to see more top 20 videos and Pixel Gun content from me, do not forget to smash the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you guys don't miss a video. And also, if you guys enjoy or agree with my list, make sure to smash the like button. And if you guys don't agree, well, let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments and what your guys' favorite special weapons are. And I guess let's just jump into the honorable mentions. So I got two honorable mentions today. The first one is going to be Chroma Key VFX. I think that's what the name of it is. This special weapon is a weapon that a lot of people like to spam, and maybe they're just good at spamming it, but I just don't like this weapon at all. I can't ever get any good gameplay with it, and I don't know if it's just not that good to me, but apparently people like it, so I thought I'd mention it. Another honorable mention is going to be High Voltage, and also just Flamethrower and Electro Throwers in general. They just very much suck. High Voltage is going to be pretty much as good as it gets at Mythical, which is the gameplay in the background. It has a DPS of 216, which is by far one of the best for Flamethrowers. And so the fact that it just has a hard time getting kills says something about Flamethrowers. Their range and mobility sucks, and they just need an all-around buff. I also, what I noticed is that when you shoot, it slows you down even more. So all players have to do is move away, and they win you in a fight. Does that make any sense? I don't know. I just mowed the lawn. I'm extremely tired. Okay, it's bad. Okay, Flamethrowers need a buff in general. Okay, now moving on to the actual list. At number 20, I'm going with Terramorphing Stone. This weapon is really not all that great, guys. I don't know why people like this weapon so much. It's really not that good at all. It has 163 damage, which seems good, but guys, you can't use this with 3-cap because it has fixed delay. It doesn't actually have input and output delay, and I know that sounds crazy, but when you switch from an ultimatum shot to this, you just have to go through the fixed delay instead of like an input delay, if that makes sense. But once you get through the fixed delay and you shoot, there's a little bit of a shot delay, which makes it a bit harder to hit shots, and it almost never one-shots because 163 isn't really enough to one-shot real players with modules. So it's like, dude, it's just really annoying. And also it has a really slow fire rate, so if you're a fast switcher, you're not gonna be able to get back to this weapon and shoot it again. It's just not that good, but it's still, I guess, decent. Next up is going to be Sly Wolf. Sly Wolf is pretty dang useful. It's not really good for anything else other than shielding you, which is why it's so low on the list. But yeah, Sly Wolf is an excellent weapon for shielding you and for using in strategic situations like duels or team strike, because it creates a huge shield area, and I mean, technically you can get kills with it if you're lucky. But yeah, Sly Wolf is more useful than anything. Next up is going to be Killer Cord, and Killer Cord is kind of alright. It's one of the best, I think, laser weapons you can get for the special category. It is an Electro Thrower, or it says it's Electro Thrower, but it's definitely a laser weapon. This is another mistake and why I hate Pixel Gun. But yeah, basically, it has weakening, so it makes it pretty decent to use in like 1v1 situations because players will have less damage, will do less damage to you, and actually weakening makes them do less damage to everything. So, I mean, you could technically, in theory, spam it in team fight and stuff. Also, I'm a little bit biased just because I think this weapon is so cool in general, so yeah. Next up is going to be Snow Queen Dominion, and honestly, this weapon I feel like should get more recognition. I feel like it's pretty good. It's always going to be a 2-shot, which is very nice, and it has wall break, and unlike most wall break weapons, when you do through the wall damage, its damage isn't reduced, so you can always count on it being a 2-shot, and so spamming this in close range maps like Pool Party is going to be pretty good, and you can get some good gameplay. I won a couple matches spamming this weapon. I don't win every game spamming it, so I'm like, it has to be lower, but it's still pretty good. Next up is going to be Shockerizer. This weapon used to be way better than it is, but they nerfed it quite a bit, and now it's just not all that great. Base damage of 82, headshot damage of 116, which is decent, but just that raw damage isn't actually enough to even 3-shot ultimate defense armor. So you're gonna need high level modules to like actually start 3-shotting people, maybe 2-shotting people. And so for that reason, I feel like it deserves to be lower. However, it's still pretty useful. It's got electric shock and enemy locator, which can be good in like team strike and duels. But other than that, it's not really that great. Can't use it with 3-cat, it has fixed delay. I don't know. It's just not the best in the game. Next up is going to be Portable Death Moon, and the only reason why this weapon is on this list at all is because it has no delay, making it pretty useful for 3-cat. What I would recommend is using high damage snipers or backups, because this weapon has very, very low damage. It has a base damage of 58, which is really not that all that great. However, it's very supplementary, holy cow. So like if you use a high damage weapon like anti-champion rifle, then it's going to be pretty good, because an anti-champion rifle plus this will kill someone, which is pretty useful. So it has its uses, but again, it's just not too good. Next up is going to be Sun Eater, and even though this has a DPS of 217, I just find it to be generally kind of weak. Maybe it's because stream beam weapons are limited in range, but I don't know. And also the fact that you have to charge it makes it kind of meh, but you're usually going to get like 1 to 2 kills per charge, so I'm like, it's not like too overpowered. But at the same time, stream beam weapons in general are pretty good, and I think Sun Eater is like pretty dang good as far as like stream beam weapons go in general. So for that reason, it's here on the list. Next up is going to be a weapon that surprises you guys, but let me just say it is because I have it at Mythical, and it's going to be Nail Minigun. It has a base damage of 26, headshot damage of 36, so it is actually very, very capable of getting kills and getting lots of them. Yeah, it's just a good special weapon for spamming, and I have a feeling a lot of you guys might not, yeah, whatever, however many knots, you might not know that it's pretty good. And so I just think it's kind of underrated, but huge disclaimer, you do have to upgrade it to Mythical for it to be this good. Next up is going to be Vertical Grip Device, and I know you guys might not want this weapon to be so low on the list, but the reason that it is low on the list is because Gift Stealer outclasses it in every way, and so I was like, if you have Gift Stealer, this is pretty much worthless. But Vertical Grip Device is pretty good for getting high ground on people. I attempt to do it in the gameplay in the background, however, I don't really know how good it is. It's kind of hard to figure out, but Vertical Grip Device is just, the only thing that's not compared to Gift Stealer is faster. It's just faster. You can shoot faster. So for that reason, you can get higher ground on people. But yeah, other than that, it's just not that good. It runs out of ammo pretty fast. Next up is going to be Thor Hammer, and Thor Hammer is like pretty much as no skill as it gets. The only thing that really drags this weapon down is the fact that you move so freaking slow with this weapon. What you guys really going to want to do with this weapon is hide behind a wall and shoot people, because you can shoot people through walls in a wide range of attack with this weapon. So it's pretty dang overpowered, I will say. But then again, the fact that you're just so slow and the charge time is very long kind of balances it out, and so for that reason, it's going to be lower on the list. Moving on to number 10, I'm going with Starfall, and maybe this weapon could be higher on the list, but I just kind of feel like it kind of works down here. Starfall is pretty good. It's pretty much always going to two-shot. Sometimes it doesn't though, just depending on like where you hit the person. But if you can direct shot, it will two-shot, which is nice. 154 damage direct shot, which is pretty cool. And it also is pretty useful because of the fact that it has like the star thingy. So if you guys like farming monsters, it's going to be pretty good for that. Next up is going to be Supernova Generator, and Supernova Generator is actually pretty dang good. It has base damage of 143, headshot damage of 197, which is very, very good. It also has the gravitational force effect and area damage, which makes it pretty easy to hit shots, or it actually kind of doesn't, because the one major drawback with Supernova Generator is it has a huge bloom, so shots kind of go everywhere and it can be kind of unreliable. So for that reason, it's kind of lower on the list-ish, not really. But other than that, Supernova Generator is actually very, very good and very good for getting kills, and also useful for like monsters or something, I don't know. Next up is going to be another underrated weapon, Block Module, which has a base damage of 163 and a headshot damage of 188. And I don't know if that accounts for the cluster mine effect that it has, because I find this weapon to one-shot, not all the time, but some of the time, this weapon will one-shot, which is pretty dang cool. It's very easy to hit shots, and I just feel like this is basically a heavy weapon in the special category, and it can be pretty good for spamming and can actually win you games. Next up is going to be Electromagnetic Cannon, specifically at Mythical, and I know this might catch a lot of you guys off guard. However, it has 159 base damage, which is pretty dang good, and here's the real banger here: it has no delay, making it actually viable for 3-cat, specifically in close range combat, because it has travel time. However, it's not just travel time. It has a rocket, which makes it pretty easy to hit people, and it also has chain damage and area damage. So if you don't directly hit someone, you can still do quite a bit of damage, and you can even do like more damage to multiple targets with the chain damage effect, which doesn't happen too often, but it does happen. So it's like, it's still pretty good, and honestly I feel like it's just highly underrated. Next up is going to be Laser Bouncer. You could technically do Reflector, but listen to this. Laser Bouncer does 124 body, 174 headshot, whereas Reflector is 98 and then 138. There's such a vast difference there that I don't even want to include a Reflector with Laser Bouncer, because Laser Bouncer is just miles better than Reflector. So for that reason, just use Laser Bouncer. Don't even use Reflector. You'll just get way better gameplay. But yeah, Laser Bouncer is a very high damage ricochet backup, or not backup, special weapon. So I mean, if you have no delay snipers and backups, you can definitely get some good 3-cat gameplay with this. Next up is going to be Gift Stealer, and like I said, this just outclasses Vertical Grip Device in every way. You can have farther grapple distance, it reaches farther, it has more ammo, it does more damage, and so it's just like, if you want generally better gameplay, Gift Stealer is going to be the way to go. But yeah, I guess if you don't have it but you have vertical grip, go with that. But still, it's just a very good movement for special weapons. Next up is going to be Ronin, and Ronin is a pretty dang good stream beam weapon. It has a DPS of 232, which is pretty good. I don't really know if there's anything else I need to say. It's just pretty good for spamming, I guess. But I will just say, Firefly's Blessing, which is the next weapon, is better, at mythical at least. It has the base damage of 257 for damage per second, so not base damage. Its damage per second is 257, which is of course miles better than most stream beam weapons in this game. In fact, it is the best stream beam weapon in this game. And so yeah, it's just very, very good for spamming. So I don't really know if I should have included both Ronin and Firefly's Blessing, or maybe meshed them together into one, but whatever. Number 2 is going to be Poison Darts. This weapon has a base damage of 113, headshot damage 161, which is like a very big difference from what I'm like noticing here. And of course that is mythical, but again, the gameplay in the background is the weapon at mythical. So yeah, it's just very, very good because it has no delay, so you can use it with 3-cat, but it does have a slight shot delay, or maybe it's like a slight manual guidance, I don't really know. But yeah, so you can use it with 3-cat. You don't have to like reload it like Ultimatum, so it makes it pretty good for 3-cat. You can spam it because it has a pretty good fire rate, so it's pretty good. However, guys, personally, I go with Notik over Poison Darts. It has a higher base damage at 132, and unlike Poison Darts, you don't have to worry about any delays at all. Once you switch to this weapon, you can shoot it. It has a high fire rate, so you can spam it if you really want to, and it has area damage if you guys miss your shots a lot. You can rely on the area damage to do some damage to the people. So I feel like that this deserves to be number 1. However, guys, when making this list, I was just like, I was struggling so hard to figure out how to order these weapons, so I can understand if you guys disagree with me. So guys, that's going to wrap up the video there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Maybe you found it helpful. I'm really tired, so I want to edit this video and get it out. So yeah, thank you guys all for watching. If you enjoyed, smash the like button, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you guys all later. Bye bye.